The word nightmare is derived from an Old English word, mare, which in turn is derived from the Proto-Indo-European word, mer, which is associated with crushing or oppressing. The mare itself refers to a mythical creature present in much of European folklore, a malicious entity that would sit upon people's chests as they slept, giving them nightmares. Descriptions of the mare, as well as its attributes and behaviors, differed between cultures. In Poland, the mare was thought of as a physical monster, and it was believed that a woman could become a mare under certain circumstances. There were certain risk factors to be wary of. A woman was thought to be more likely to become a mare if she was the seventh-born daughter, had her name pronounced incorrectly during a baptism, had a unibrow or heterochromia, meaning different colored eyes, or if she mispronounced a prayer. It was believed that individuals who became mares could transform into animals or objects, and would drain people or livestock of their blood or energy while they slept. In order to protect livestock, people would hang mirrors over the manger. It was believed that the mare would be afraid of its own face. Likewise, predatory birds were believed to scare off the mare, and dead birds would be hung over the stable doors in that interest. In Scandinavia, the mare, or Mara, was thought to be more of a supernatural entity. In a story mentioned in the 13th century Ynglinga saga, King Vanlandi of Uppsala, Sweden, spent a summer in Finland in the home of a man called Sne the Old. While staying with Sne the Old, King Vanlandi was promised to Drifa, Sne the Old's daughter, and she became pregnant with his child. In the spring, Vanlandi returned to Uppsala, but made a promise to Drifa that he would return in 3 years to be with her. But 10 years passed, and Vanlandi did not return. Drifa was distressed, and sought the help of a Finnish witch named Huld. She bribed her to make Vanlandi come back to her, and if that failed, she was instructed to kill him. The witch began her work, and at Uppsala, King Vanlandi began to get urges to visit Finland. His advisors and friends persuaded him not to, knowing that it was Finnish witchcraft compelling him. Then, Vanlandi became very tired and lay himself down to sleep. But as he slept, he cried out in pain, claiming that the Mara was treading upon him. His men rushed into the room and held his head, but the mare began treading upon his legs, breaking them. When his men went to hold his legs, the mare pressed down on the king's head, killing him. In this saga, the mare is seen to be a supernatural entity that has influence over the physical world. It could be summoned by a witch to carry out an assassination. In England, the mare took on yet another name, the hag. Like the Scandinavian Mara, the hag was believed to sit on people's chests, giving them nightmares. When the subject awoke, they would be unable to move or even breathe for a short period of time. In the English-speaking world, this came to be known as being hagridden. But in modern times, we refer to this as sleep paralysis. As you just heard in folklore, and even in some modern circles, sleep paralysis is considered to be a paranormal state. In folklore, however, it was unclear whether the hag was an old woman who knew magic, a supernatural being, or a witch. It's easy to see why sleep paralysis was considered to be a supernatural phenomenon in the past 1,000 years. But why does it actually happen? During most phases of the sleep cycle, brain activity is low, and under normal circumstances, you do not dream. In the last phase of the sleep cycle, however, rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep, brain activity increases and you begin to dream. In order to protect you from the inherent danger of acting your dreams out while unconscious, your brain shuts down your body's ability to move in a phenomenon known as atonia. The brain achieves atonia by using GABA, the major inhibitory neurotransmitter, as well as glycine, an amino acid, to bind different receptors on motor neurons. This binding causes motor neurons to hyperpolarize, meaning their internal charge becomes negative, decreasing the likelihood that the neuron will fire. Normally, GABA and glycine are cut off from motor neurons after waking and atonia is released. But regularly, in 5% of the population, this process is not released for seconds to minutes, causing sleep paralysis. During this waking paralysis, individuals report numbness, tingling, and vibrations throughout the body. The individual may also imagine sounds during the paralysis, such as humming, hissing, static, zapping, buzzing, voices, whispers, and roars. It is widely known that sufferers of sleep paralysis may also experience pressure on the chest during an episode. This is likely why in folklore, the mare was thought to sit on your chest to deliver you nightmares. Sleep paralysis is also often accompanied by stronger hypnagogic hallucinations, which in addition to strange and unusual imagined sounds can include kinesthetic hallucinations, such as the feeling of being dragged out of bed, floating above your bed, out-of-body experiences. Visual hallucinations are also not uncommon. These visual hallucinations will often take the form of a monster or a dark figure standing in the corner of your room, at the foot of your bed, or even on your chest. Hypnagogic hallucinations are thought to be serotonergic and occur in the period of consciousness between sleep and wakefulness, otherwise known as the hypnagogic state. The hallucinations seen in sleep paralysis can therefore be thought of as dreams projected onto the real world by your brain. The older English phrase, an old hag attack, referred to this hypnagogic state, in that it referred to terrifying hallucinations seen in that slow dawning of consciousness. The legendary mare may not be real, but it's easy to see why it was believed to be for so long. I've been Sandor Desmond with The Forgotten Grove. Subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every Thursday, and tune in on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Nightmare Theater, an open book club for nightmares. You can also send me an email to theforgottengrove@gmail.com with your nightmare, and I'd be happy to read it on air and do my best to interpret it. Until next time, embrace the beautiful dark.